Good afternoon, fathers and deacons, and greetings from Stephenville. I'd prefer to be addressing you live today, but I had to teach class, so I'm going to have to speak through the medium of this video. I'd like to say a few words on behalf of Drs. Hahn, Barber, and myself about our goals for the upcoming Fullness of Truth Conference. Dr. Hahn and I both began our vocational journeys with the sole intention of becoming Protestant pastors and preachers to build up local congregations of Christians. As you well know, God's plans for both of us were quite different than we expected, and He led us by different routes to a destination we did not foresee, the Catholic Church. Nonetheless, our passion remains focused on pastoral ministry. There's nothing we desire more than to support the building up of strong local parishes throughout the U.S. and the world. And our hope is that this Fullness of Truth Conference will further that goal in North Texas. We know that you priests and deacons are the frontline commanders in the battles of the church militant. You bear the brunt of the spiritual warfare, and we appreciate what you do. Our hope is that this conference will make your jobs easier by firing up your parishioners with a new love and respect for their church, their parish, and their clergy. The upcoming conference is focused on the Gospel of Matthew, which is a gospel dominated by the theme of the kingdom of heaven. Yet there is widespread confusion about what the kingdom really is. On the secular left, you have academics who believe that the kingdom was supposed to be a political reality which was never realized. Therefore, Jesus died tragically as the failed prophet of a utopia that was not actualized. On the religious right, many American Bible Christians believe that the kingdom was supposed to be a Jewish monarchy under Jesus' direct rule that never arrived because of the resistance of the Jews to Jesus' plan in his own day. Therefore, Jesus switched to Plan B and founded the church. While we are currently living in this Plan B church age, a day will come when Christ will return and reign visibly over a Jewish monarchy from Jerusalem for 1,000 years. Now, what both the secular left and the religious right have in common is a view of the kingdom as political and the misunderstanding that it did not arrive. This ought not to surprise us, because Jesus warned us by many parables that the kingdom would be easy to misunderstand and easy to overlook. It would not be obvious to everyone. Just think of the parable of the treasure hidden in the field, or the leaven hidden in the loaf, or the pearl of great price. The point of all those parables was that the kingdom would not be easily spotted externally. Nonetheless, careful attention to the Gospel of Matthew leads inevitably to the conclusion that Jesus did bring the kingdom, and that that kingdom is manifested in the church. After all, it's in the Gospel of Matthew that Jesus says the kingdom is like a net that fishermen let down to catch fish of many kinds, both good and bad. The net is not pulled from the sea and sorted out until the final judgment. Now, does that parable sound like it's describing some sort of utopian political reality? Of course not. That parable is obviously describing the church and her mission, which is to fish for men with a net held by the apostles and their successors. People get scandalized that the church has some bad fish in it. They conclude that the church is unrelated to the kingdom, and the kingdom has not come. But Jesus told us it would be this way. In this age, the kingdom is going to be a mixed reality, but it is the kingdom present nonetheless. When people leave the Fullness of Truth Conference, we want them to return home excited about the fact that Jesus' kingdom has come, and it is most fully present every time they go to Mass at their local parish. Because it's at their local parish where the Eucharist is celebrated, and when the Eucharist is celebrated, the King becomes present in our midst, and where the King is, there is the kingdom. The Bible church down the road may have a bigger music ministry, but the King does not become present in their midst, in his body and in his blood. The worship center across town may have the city's largest youth outreach, but that worship center is not under the guidance of Jesus' royal officers, who are none other than the successors of the apostles, our bishops. It is only the Catholic Church that has present all the marks of the kingdom. As both Dr. Hahn and I came to realize, it is the pearl of great price. Maybe not all recognize it, because there are counterfeits. To the untrained or the uninterested eye, a fake pearl and a real pearl may appear very much to be the same. But our goal for this upcoming conference is to train Catholics in pearl recognition. We would like to help them to see that, despite the presence of weeds and bad fish, the church really is the kingdom of heaven that Jesus brought to earth. Fathers and deacons, I promise you that Drs. Hahn, Barber, and myself are going to leave it all on the field at this conference to make sure that every attendee realizes the incredible riches that they have in the Catholic Church and in their local parish. But we do need your help in getting folks to come out. If you will partner with us, we believe that God will bless our efforts and pour out His grace on the church in North Texas.